Rain, rain, go away on this sloppy Saturday at the Big A. Set to go opening weekend on the inner track, the first of many weekends to be run over the inner winterized oval. We're glad you've settled in with us here on MSG Plus. Jason Blewitt, the big Richard Migliore is alongside. You've all made it in time. And one thing's for certain, no matter where we go over the next half hour, no sloppy track blues on this edition of Insider.
No, and we certainly had a sloppy track today, but it was a good track, a safe track, and all the riders said that they felt very good and comfortable on it. That's a credit to Glenn Kozak and his crew.
Absolutely. Featured 8th race, 29th running of the Garland of Roses. That has been the Garland of Roses, the opening inner track stake, if you will, for as long as I can remember. And there's a pretty good group of fillies and mares competing for 100K. A
really good group of fillies and some real speed in there, kind of a lot of intrigue. We'll get to that and kind of really pick apart that race in a little bit.
As we backtrack and we get into the Saturday headlines on day number 4 on the inner track, and we begin with the veteran jockey and a guy who leads by example, Cornelia Velasquez, injured in a spill yesterday. We're going back about 3 weeks ago with the B-roll we're looking at with the Cornelia's win aboard Dynamic Sky and the Red Smith. Sounds like Cornelia Velasquez left North Shore earlier today, and he's going to be out for about a month.
Yeah, and he's seeing a specialist on Monday, Dr. Stephen O'Brien, according to his agent, Billy Castle, and kind of get a better idea of the time frame. I know Cornelio. If they say 5 weeks, he'll be back in 4. If they say 6, he'll be back in 5. He's a guy that loves to ride. He's a very intense individual and a guy that takes care of himself, and that's huge when you talk about coming back from injuries.
Well, and a veteran rider who is 46 years old, and we've discussed his work ethic and the fact that he loves to ride. And Cornelio, even at this time of the year, 7, 8, 9 a day on a daily basis for 5 racing cards a week.
And that's one of his greatest strengths, the fact that he can show up and his consistency. It doesn't matter if it's a 10-claimer or the Red Smith handicap. He puts out 120% every time, a guy that I admire. Not only for that, but for several other things, too.
Well, reached 3,000 wins back here in 2011, and we hope to have Cornelia Velasquez back with us here before we know it. Now, concerning the 2 riders involved in that 3-horse spill in Friday's 8th race, suspensions, 15-day suspensions, handed down for both Manuel Franco and Cece Lopez earlier today.
Yeah, both riders hit with pretty stiff suspensions, 15 days. We'll go back. Junior Alvarado was given 15 days for his part in the spill in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Although a bit of a different circumstance at a point in the race, Juniors, where a rider's supposed to be more in control of his horse. This was in the stretch. Guys didn't drift too much, but it did result in a terrible spill that injured jockey Cornelia Velasquez. 15 days for both of them, but they're both appealing.
All right, fair enough. We look ahead and we look down south. Warmer climate, a nicer day. Sun was out fast and firm. It is opening day at Gulfstream Park. The Claiming Crown, a fixture down at Gulfstream over the last 3 years as we go back to race number 7. And the Claiming Crown, a great series that was inaugurated in 1999. And take a look at that turf course, man. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Had a little time off as they raced at Gulfstream Park West, or a.k.a. Calder. That was Buster Rose with Jeremy Rose getting it done. Kind of came into the stretch a little wide, kind of squeezed them guys down, a little race riding going on, but boy, it does look pretty good at Gulfstream.
Yeah, we'll be covering some Gulfstream Park races, even from the Claiming Crown today on the National Racing Report, along with Andy Serling on Monday and Tuesday. Keep in mind, the Racing Report will be on MSG Plus at 6 p.m., but we don't want to rush this half hour. We're settled in. We've got a lot of slop on this opening Saturday on the inner track, and we backtrack to the featured 8th race, 100K in the line. It's the Garland of Roses for fillies and mares and John and Brielle.
The inside post is out for the lead. Bridgehampton now moves up to challenge. So Bridgehampton pokes ahead in front of Winning Image, and those two have 4.5 lengths on the Sounds of the City, who's on the outside in 3rd. Willett towards the rail in 4th. Expression in between horses. Janata is the trailer. Entry mate, Bridgehampton, is up front and with the narrow lead over Winning Image. The quarter went in 22 and 4/5 seconds. Bridgehampton gets clear of Winning Image. It's Bridgehampton in front by 2 midway on the turn. Winning Image is second by 3. Willett is now being asked for run and is in 3rd. Down on the inside is Janata, then Expression and Sounds of the City. They're at the top of the stretch. Half mile in 46 and 4/5 seconds. Here's Winning Image now to reclaim the lead. Willett on the outside. Janata is coming through down towards the rail, and Expression on the outside. They move for the 16th pole. Winning Image Expression and Willett. Sounds of the City is fourth. Expression on the outside. Expression to win the Garland of Roses. Winning Image was...
It's a bit of a cliche, it's a tired axiom, but pace does make the race, and there was certainly some speed in this race for Expression to close into. Winning Image, what a game effort in defeat, but Expression is good enough to pick her off.
Well, Expression really did take advantage of the pace duel and the contact early. Winning Image got involved with the Rabbit, the one-horse Bridgehampton. They had some contact. Takes a lot out of a horse, and we're going to take a look at that head-on in a moment. Keep your eye on the 1, Bridgehampton, and the 4, Winning Image as we come forward out of the gate. You can see Tony Black, who breaks from the rail, and his filly broke extremely fast, Winning Image. He's going to try to basically get off the fence.
Right.
And Bridgehampton is intent on keeping him in a spot. Now you see he's going to float out a little bit here. He's actually going to point her out at one point. You see he's riding her hard to get out off the fence and kind of pack the other speed out. And at some point, right in here, he made a little contact there. Come out again, a little more contact, and then Jose Ortiz has had enough, and he's going to put him back in his place, and you're going to see as we come down a little further, they're going to bump again. And to me, it's those kind of things that really take a lot out of a horse. It's one thing to be in a duel, but when you have that contact as well as that pressure, and the fact that she only got beat about a half a length.
No, I think of maybe even an NHL face-off to quantify it, and 2 big guys tying each other up. I mean, that has to just completely sap your energy. And a credit to Winning Image, who didn't back down at all. I mean, she puts away Bridgehampton, turns back everybody, and it only, I mean, look, you have the longest dirt stretch on this circuit, yes, on the inner track. It took all 1,174 feet for Expression to finally get by a very game-determined Winning Image.
As impressed as I was with Winning Image and Expression's late run, I'm more impressed that you came up with that 1,174 feet.
I looked it up the other day when we got on the inner track. I figured it'd be a good nugget to break out at some point. Now, for Winning Image, final career start of her career. She had a good one, a 14-time winner. Expression, though, is just getting back to the races. She is trained by Charlton Baker, and he was alongside the MIG after taking the Garland of Roses.
Yeah, Expression was pretty far back today, a little further than normal. Were you concerned early?
Not really, because I told Ryder to just let her settle in herself, because that's all she want to run. She want to settle, and then she makes her run. So I told him, don't know where you're at, just kind of get her. Once she's relaxed and running, that's okay. I didn't think where she was pushing. It wasn't 5th, 6th, wherever it was, it would be okay as long as she was settled. She was running comfortable.
And it looked like the 2 horses on the lead were really battling.
Yeah,
kind of got to bumping, too.
Definitely. That helped us a lot. The speed duel up front kind of helped us a lot. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we got.
And going forward, where do you think you might run her back if she comes out of the race well?
There's another stake in January. I can't think of the name, what it is, but for open horses, which I'm thinking there from here. From January, month off, month between races, which would be good. I might look for the race in Laurel, which I can't think of the name of it.
I think it's the Barbara Fritchie, maybe the Inter-Barbara first. Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara Fritchie. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Barbara Fritchie. But one of the 2. I'm going to nominate both places and see where we go from there.
Great. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Mike.
He's a very good trainer. Native of Jamaica, just turned 49 years old last month. And do you have a lot of respect for Charlton Baker?
I do. And, you know, he knows how to take care of all kinds of horses. Obviously, he's got a filly like this now, a stakes winner. But from some cheaper horses, runs a string at Finger Lakes, all the way up to these kind of horses, you do have to respect the guy.
And claimed this filly by Invasor back almost 3 winters ago. It was early on in January of 2012. Picked her up 2nd time out in a maiden 35, and she has banked about $350K. Pretty good.
Kind of makes sense, too, that the Invasors would get better with racing and with age. It seemed like he got better as he went on, so a very astute claim, even though the payoff's coming a little bit later on.
Some big-name sires won races on today's card. We'll talk about it after this quick timeout. Little breather in the action on MSG Plus. The MIG and myself and all of you are coming back from sloppy Aqueduct in just a second. It's December, it's the season of giving, and, well, Aqueduct is alive and well, and the spirit of giving was in the air here this Saturday afternoon at the Big A. The place was packed. The United States Marine Corps was on hand. Ed Mangano, the Nassau County executive as well, and the annual Toys for Tots drive, and just good stuff all around when we think of those less fortunate than us.
No, it's great, and it's definitely a really good feeling, the kind of giving in the air, and the bunch of the riders came out and got their picture with some of the kids, and some of the dignitaries involved. As there's the check, Toys for Tots, $21,200.
Not bad. Gary Contessa won today's nightcap, donating a percentage of his purse earnings every Toys for Tots. One of his big owners, Harold Lerner, giving a percentage of his earnings as well. And I'll tell you, man, the national anthem, watching these brave men and women of the United States Marine Corps outside with the color guard, the flags, and the rifles, it really gave you chills. It was a terrific scene to start this card.
Yeah, we owe them a debt that we can never repay. They keep us safe and allow us the freedoms that we enjoy in this country, so they have all my respect.
And we get back to a man we respect, John Imbriale. He'll take us through the running sloppy inner track. It is race number 6 on the Saturday card, the opening leg of the guaranteed late pick 4.
Curious Cal from the outside and a Native Hero from the rail. It's Curious Cal who grabs the lead. Native Hero runs in second, and Imposing Figure is next in third. Groupthink is fourth, and a Man of Mystery, the early trailer, in fifth as they race up the backstretch. And it is Curious Cal in front here by a half length, with Imposing Figure now getting closer on the outside. Curious Cal, Imposing Figure, their heads apart through an opening quarter mile over this sloppy inner track in 23 4/5 seconds. The front two have opened up almost 4 lengths. Native Hero down at the rail, then Groupthink and Man of Mystery. Curious Cal with the lead over Imposing Figure as they come for the top of the stretch. Curious Cal in front, ran a half in 47 1. Imposing Figure on the outside, and Native Hero looking to come through down at the rail. Curious Cal still in front. Native Hero in second. Imposing Figure is third with a 16th to the finish, and it's Curious Cal holding on here. Curious Cal wins by a length and a half. Native Hero second, gap of 4 to Imposing Figure in third.
A huge second half to the Saturday card for Charlton Baker, Manny Franco. We already covered their win with Expression in the Garland of Roses. Well, the late pick 4 began with those guys in the winner's circle with Curious Cal, who wired the field in race number 6. Runner-up ran well as well off a layoff for Bob Barbera.
Yeah, a Native Hero really ran terrific. He had the rail position. Taylor Rice likes to save ground. She's very patient, and she gave Native Hero a very good ride. But I came away with the feeling, Jason, that Native Hero rallied up the inside and kind of just resented going inside. He didn't want to run inside the eventual winner, Curious Cal, and I think he might have been better served if Taylor was able to angle out after they turned for home, after saving all that ground. Some horses are just not comfortable in there, and it looked to me like he got uncomfortable.
How important, though, on this inner track is saving ground for any rider, Taylor Rice and everybody else on this column?
Oh, it's hugely important because as long as the stretch is, means the turns are that much tighter. You don't want to give away ground, and Taylor's been terrific at saving ground, and I think she gave Native Hero a very good ride. But when she turned for home, she had an opportunity maybe to ease to the clear, and I think he would have gotten a lot more comfortable with all that extra space.
Son of Cowboy Cal wins today's 6th race, gets through that state-bred non-winners of 1. Not a good effort for the odds-on favorite Groupthink, who somehow got a 95 buyer defeating Uncle Si 364 days ago. He just, one of those races, you scratch your head.
Well, what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get on to a race number 7, what a difference a race makes as we stretch things out on the inner track. The same voice in the booth. It's John Imbriale into the clubhouse turn.
To the clubhouse turn. Spinning for home with the lead over Adams Note, Birchwood Road, and a Spider Roll. They're together 3rd and 4th with Change Will Do You Good in 5th. Salisbury Night is 6th. Awesome Heart trails the field in 7th. Adams Note has the lead here, but Change Will Do You Good goes up to challenge now. Change Will Do You Good goes on with it and takes the lead from Adams Note. Change Will Do You Good, clear by 2.5 lengths. Adams Note is second by almost 3. Then it's Birchwood Road down on the inside in 3rd. Salisbury Night now gains ground from 4th. Spider Roll is back running in 5th. Then it's Awesome Heart and a big break back to Spinning for Home. Spinning for Home being eased there at the back of the pack. Quarter in 24 and 1, the half mile in 49 and 2. Change Will Do You Good in front here, a little more than a length. Adams Note in second. Salisbury Night on the outside is third, 2.5 lengths. To Spider Roll trying to get back in it again. Alongside is Birchwood Road, and Awesome Heart is down at the rail, 3/4 up in 1:14 and 4. They come off the turn and enter the stretch. It's Change Will Do You Good on the outside. Salisbury Night. Change Change Will Do You Good, Salisbury Knight. The two of them are right together. Salisbury Knight now takes the lead. Change Will Do You Good back running in second, and Awesome Heart is third. It's Salisbury Knight who comes from off the pace to win going away at the end, 1 by 3. Change Will Do You Good was second.
Well, we had an Invasor win earlier today. We had a couple of Bernardinis win. They were 1-2 in the Breeders' Cup Classic about a decade ago at Churchill Downs. How about Salisbury Knight with that extension blinker? Proved best here beneath Fernando Jara.
Yeah, he did prove best. Jimmy Jerkins for Centennial Farm. He's got that extension blinker. Seems very effective on him. The idea behind an extension blinker is to limit a horse's range of vision to the outside. The logical thought process is that a horse won't run to a place where he can't see. Now, it doesn't always work, but obviously this horse respects that, and that extension blinker kept him pretty straight.
How about this? A Bernardini Medaglia d'Oro State Bred Exact in the slop on this Saturday on the inner track, and I think you were impressed by the runner-up effort of Change Will Do You Good, who got some change going turf the dirt.
Yeah, I was very impressed with him, and with those pedigrees, these aren't your grandfather's New York breds anymore, but Change Will Do You Good. Well, the change did him good onto the dirt, and he showed more speed. And you could see Angel Cruz trying to cover him up into the turn. And when the dirt hit him, the horse reacted by getting a little bit rank, ran off with him. But I like what Angel Cruz did. He let him go on, get comfortable, drop over. Thought this was a big effort by him and the winner.
Quick pop to Fernando Jara, who was aboard the winner for Jimmy Jerkins. What does Fernando have to do rejoining this colony after so much time?
Well, I think he's going a long way to doing just that, showing people that he's focused, he's serious, he's ready to work, and he wants to prove a point that he belongs here. He's gotten off to a good start.
All right, we get off to where we keep the good start going with Johnny Ives, the world's fastest pick six, the calls, the stretch runs of races 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and here we go on the inner.
Take over the lead now. Midnight Citra races in second. Then it's Kaylee's Road, followed by Maddie's Wonder Girl. Way back is Maricel, My Love. Bonnet Plume has opened up on the field here in deep stretch. It is Bonnet Plume. And she's going to win here by about 8 lengths or so. The 1 to 5 favorite Midnight Citra has to settle for second. Casey Lauren will be forced wide, and there's room down on the inside for Zippa Tequila, who's come on. 3/16 to the wire. Here comes Bourbon State of Mind on the outside to take over the lead from Fenwick Hall. Bourbon State of Mind in front, then Fenwick Hall. Zippa Tequila. Here's a late move from Casey Lauren, but it'll be too late. Bourbon State of Mind wins first time out and 1 by 4. Fenwick Hall held second. Casey Lauren Bond in front as they head for home. Half mile in 46 seconds. Sir Bond with a 3-length lead. Regulus moves to second. Night Patrol on the outside as the big deluxe drops out of it. As they come for the 16th pole, it is Sir Bond with the lead. Regulus, one last try on the outside. Sir Bond drifting out a bit. Regulus in second. Sir Bond the winner. Regulus was second. Big break back to a photo for third. Prophet's Cat in the stretch, 113 and 4. Son of Dixie and Inca Saint. And those two have opened up 8 or 9 lengths on the rest of the field. There's an 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Son of Dixie on the inside with a head in front of Inca Saint. Son of Dixie, the favorite here. Inca Saint, a long shot. Those two right together as they come for the finish line. Son of Dixie gets it by a long neck. Woburn has dropped back. Private Irving A on the outside and with a chance. Artemis Paperboy has the lead. Forged in second. Then Private Irving A now under the whip, followed by Can't Catch Me Now and Woburn. Artemis Paperboy trying to hold off Forged. Then Private Irving A as they come down for the wire. Artemis Paperboy in front. Private Irving A on the outside. Artemis Paperboy wins it. Private Irving A was second. Then front, BB's Remington went wide there. Jacopo now comes on through. El Viejo Verde and Jacopo. Jacopo on the outside. El Viejo Verde battles on. And BB's Remington is now kicking in. With a 16th to the wire, here's BB's Remington to take over and win the finale. BB's Remington by 2. Jacopo was second.
Second win, Fernando Jara for Gary Contessa in the last race with BB's Remington at 2-1. No pick 6 carryover into the Sunday card tomorrow afternoon. And look, the 2015 breeding season right around the corner. You're looking for a nice mate to one of your mares. Well, it's time for the Frost Giant New York bred standout as we go back, Mig, to today's 7th race.
Yeah, and the New York bred standout is Salisbury Knight, who rallied down the center of the track to get the money, and we alluded to that pedigree, Bernardini. Well, you got a chance to go to Frost Giant for a fraction of what you could get to Bernardini for, and Frost Giant's got everything you want in a stallion. His horses run long, they run short, they run turf, they run dirt, and he's a very imposing, impressive individual to look at. Everything you want.
And his 2-year-olds are precocious, but his horses continue to develop. The older they get, the more they raise. He's the complete package. Give Eric Bishop a little email or a phone call, eric@sunrisestallions.com. Phone number is up there. Good-looking son of Giants Causeway, who's claimed the fame, Frost Giant, winning the 2008 Suburban Handicap at Belmont Park. Who was the rider?
Under Rudy Rodriguez, his only Grade 1 victory as a jockey. He's surpassed that now as a trainer. Rudy's actually found his niche.
Well, indeed he has. We love those Sons of Giants Causeway as we take a look at the jock standings with the opening Saturday on the inner track down. Mig, you look at this list, it's a very young colony.
A very young jockey colony. Manny Franco's been riding lights out. He's been fun to ride. Another kid who's been riding extremely well, won a race today, Dylan Davis. Hasn't been getting the best opportunities, but making the most of when they come. And it's uncanny how much he looks like his father finishing on a horse. I swear I'm watching Robbie Davis.
And he teams up for Mike Rapoli and Bruce Levine in tomorrow's featured 8th race with the morning line favorite, Misconnect, who we'll talk about in a few short moments on this show after we look at the 3 claims. 2 out of the 4th, 1 out of the nightcap.
Yeah, and we had some action, not as busy as some days. We saw some days where it seemed like every claiming race horses were taken out of, but guys are getting ready, just basically loading up for the week.
Yeah, it's early on. We got a lot of time to go, which isn't the case. It's bittersweet. We've got our final segment coming up, a sloppy, chilly, foggy day at the Big A. A little bit of everything with Juan Rodriguez and the crew, so stay tuned. The Mig and I are back in a second. Back at the Big A, things have gotten dark outside. In fact, there wasn't much sun to begin with today, but we got the 9 races in. I would imagine the inner track will kick off as sloppy or muddy, but the one thing, and that's tomorrow I'm talking about, one thing about the inner, it dries pretty quick, right? It
does dry pretty quick, and it's designed when it gets very cold that it kind of freeze dries. Now, obviously, as much moisture as you had, we don't want temperatures to plummet tonight because then you'll get kind of some lumps in there, frozen ground. But the best the inner track is when it gets cold enough and it stays that freeze dried, almost like crystal.
The silver lining today is it wasn't freezing. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing a show, and there might be 2 feet of snow on the ground.
No, I didn't miss riding today. I miss riding most days, but as tough as it was, those ladies and gentlemen earned their money today.
You did a good job with Charlton Baker in the post-race interview as we check out. You'll keep that good job going with the Sunday preview. Again, a likelihood of a wetter track is certainly in the cards as we get on to race number 2. And we take a look at Ocean Boulevard for Rick Bauer Jr.
Yeah, Ocean Boulevard ran big, making 1 run sprinting here. Now she's stretching out to 2 turns, a mile and a 16th on the inner. It's a lot different, and she's going to have to show me that she wants to go this far, especially around 2 turns. She has one going a mile around 1 turn, but that's an elongated sprint to me. This is a completely different style of race.
She'll have hot rodding Manny Franco up, completing the field of 7. Now bookending the field, 7 stars for Chip Dutrow or Sidney Dutrow, stretching out from the rail.
Yeah, stretching out from the rail. Had 1 start, 2 turns last year on the inner track and was well beaten, although in tougher company. She was in a maiden allowance race. She certainly should be competitive for 25 off the claim, and I like inside draws on the inner track.
And you've got an inside draw as well, and a class dropper with the 2 Frosty Bay. As we get 7 stars out of the way, we go from Jose Ortiz to Erod Ortiz with Frosty Bay, who's getting some class relief. Would you agree the biggest question, how does she do on the dirt tomorrow?
That is the big question. How is she going to handle the dirt course? She has had success on the inner, 3 starts on it, a win and 2/3. And Dominic Schettino's barn has been going good. And when Dominic's barn heats up, it seems like all his horses run well. And another horse that's well drawn.
Post number 2 for the Schettino barn as we can move on to race number 8, $75,000 allowance optional claimer. Some good horses in tomorrow's featured 8th race. We begin with Misconnect, who's got the rail, Dylan Davis for Rapoli Stables, and Bruce Levine off a pretty game win here on Halloween.
Yeah, nice to see Dylan Davis getting a shot for Bruce Levine. The inside draw is good. Now, this horse has never run on the inner track, but I like horses coming off of wins, and Bruce Levine, He's one of my favorite trainers of all time.
Guy's been a winner for the last quarter century, if not more. In for the 75K misconnect. I'm curious to see if anybody jumps in and dips in for the 75 Gs, maybe David Jacobson or Rudy Rodriguez, as we get on to Luna Rover, who seems like the biggest danger to the favorite.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. Luna Rover's had some good races. She handles moisture in the track. She excels at two-turn races. She gets that. I think Luna Rover could be very, very tough to beat. To me, the horse to beat.
Yeah, he seems like he stepped up his game, as you noted, over the last 3 months or so since Saratoga for Jimmy Bond. And Sassicaia, $1.6 million two-year-old purchase by Bernardini, coming in and off a victory. It took him 5 tries to break his maiden.
It took him a while to break his maiden, but sometimes horses win and then they go on. It's like they figure it out. Now, this horse had some races that were very good where he didn't get the money. But certainly, you would think with that pedigree, too, he should handle some moisture.
For a trainer whose horses, when they can break through, they tend to keep improving. He's
Yes.
got the right guy in his corner in Chad Brown, Manny Franco for Bob LaPenta, as we send it down to Andy Serling with who to look for tomorrow afternoon.
Well, I guess weather conditions are a big factor going into Sunday's card, and I have to assume, I think like you do, the track will be sloppy or muddy for Sunday's races, and we're a little early as we tape this on Saturday's card, and it feels like you kind of want to be outside. Fortunately, the horse that I'm interested in does have an outside draw, and we're going to the 4th race, a race that'll start our pick 6 here. It's a maiden claiming race, and I'm very interested in second-time starter Meisner Park. Not because I've been to Meisner Park down in Boca Raton, mind you, but Meisner Park ran a maiden special weight a mile in his first start. Not an easy thing to do. He was chasing early, he was chasing wide before fading and fading badly. But the way he faded badly, I wonder if something may have happened that day. He gets blinkers on. We know he can run a little bit early. That was a super tough field. We've already seen a horse come back and win that race. He's dropping down, and Meisner Park feels like an interesting horse at a price in the 4th race on Sunday.
A Big A salute as we end the card. Toys for Tots here tomorrow afternoon. We'll have the United States Marine Corps as well for the Mig and I. We can't thank you enough for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night right here on MSG Plus beginning at 6 p.m.